Welcome to another collective pick a card reading. Today we are channeling Goddess Aphrodite with the question of any guidance, any messages you need to hear right now in terms of embracing your inner goddess. I've been feeling drawn to working with goddess energy for some time, especially Aphrodite. I've been getting a lot of messages, symbols, things like that relating to her. We have some of these things laid out here, like bees and honey, pearls and seashells, rose petals. If you're interested in learning more about working with deities or some of their symbols and messages, I highly recommend doing some research. It's a super interesting topic. But I am looking forward to getting into these 4 piles today. So what you're going to do is use your own intuition to choose your pile. And I have some different things here to help you do that. Or if you're feeling drawn to just a specific number in the sequence, you can do it that way. There's really no wrong way to do it, and you may feel drawn to more than one pile, and that's totally okay. I highly recommend checking out both piles just in case there's something in it for you from both of them. This may be one line that you need to hear, it may be something longer, but just be open to the message. Be open-minded, be open-hearted. Another thing to keep in mind is that these readings are timeless, so whenever you come across this video, whether it's right when I post it or later on, it's when it's meant to find you. So let's get into picking your pile. So for pile 1, we have this seashell and pearl earring. For pile 2, we have a honey calcite stone. For pile 3, we have this spell jar. And for pile 4, we have some rose petals. So once you decide which pile you are feeling drawn to, what you can do is go down into the description and find the timestamp that correlates with your pile. And I'll see you there. Welcome, pile 1. I am going to put your seashell and earring over to the side, and we're actually going to look at this card later on. So I'm going to put it over here as well. And then I am going to start pulling some cards for you. So what does pile 1 need to know when it comes to embracing their inner goddess energy? Okay. I'm going to start with these 3 cards. We have tackle adversity head on. A path with no bend is boring. And we have, oops, these are upside down. See beneath the surface, dig deeper to find the ruby. And finally we have open your heart, friendship gives purpose to life. So the first message that came through is to be open to guidance. That may come in different forms. That may be feedback, so being open to receiving feedback, and adopt a mentality of curiosity when it comes to how you choose to consider that feedback. I also saw something melting, kind of like down into a puddle. And how I interpret this is there's some version of you that's sort of melting away, and you're taking shape into this new form moving forward. And I think there may have been some recent challenges that have got you to this point, some obstacles you've overcome, adversity. And this path that you have been on with adversity has been completely unique to you. And the challenges that you've been given were designed specifically for you to get you to where you need to be and to help shape you into this new version of yourself that's coming forward, that's beginning to bloom. I think you're very much in the early stages of this. There's still a little bit of a path to go, although our journey of evolving is never ending. But I do see this going in a very positive way, in a way that leaves you with more confidence than you've ever had before. And embracing your inner goddess, an aspect of that is confidence and allowing our confidence to shine through. And loving ourselves wholeheartedly and unconditionally. And this card here says, a path with no bend is boring. And that is something that's, when we're going through adversity, it's hard to remind ourselves of that because we just want to be feeling good. We don't want to be going through challenges. So it is kind of easier said than to actually feel. However, it is important to remember that if we didn't experience any challenges in our human lives, then we wouldn't know how to appreciate the times where things feel frictionless, feel full of joy and ease. Having those experiences all the time, we wouldn't be having an authentic human experience because it's really all about a balance of those things. We have to experience the bad to be able to fully savor the good. And in terms of this card, see beneath the surface, dig deeper and find the ruby. Maybe there's some facade that you've been portraying in the world that needs to be polished off to reveal what's underneath. So what aspects of yourself are just dying to be shown to the world? There may be some fear and insecurity around that, but I'm really getting that if you take a leap of faith and put yourself out there and show those aspects of yourself, that you will be received more positively than you're imagining you will right now. And that doing so will be a bridge to developing deeper relationships that are more aligned with this new version of you and where you're heading. So we have open your heart, friendship gives purpose to life. So when you show your true self to the world, yes, some people may not like it. No one is for everyone, and that's totally okay. Of course, in this human life, we have our egos, so the ego doesn't really like not being liked. But if we could just have the courage to work past that, then we're going to attract the people that are meant for us. I'm going to start with those 3 cards, and then I'm going to pull some more. I don't know if you guys enjoy watching the shuffling. I'm kind of hiding that part over here. I'm going to move this up here. We have the snake and fern starting over. And then we have the boar and pumpkin, confidence. There's that confidence theme again. So with the snake and fern starting over, is there something that's been hiding out in the bushes that is getting the sense of diminishing your vitality? Something that's running in the background that's keeping you from being your most authentic, energetic, and aligned self. Something that is interfering with that joy for being alive. So, and I'm getting the message that this is something that you probably know what I'm talking about, actually. If nothing is coming to mind after this video, or you can pause the video, take a few minutes to just sit down. You can journal, or you can just sit with your thoughts and see what comes up for you around this question of what is running in the background that is interfering with your sense of joy, vitality, your passion, your authenticity. What is keeping you from showing up as the best version of yourself and the most confident version of yourself? And with regards to starting over, like I said earlier, there's this version of you that's falling away. And part of that is allowing whatever this is to fall away as well. So maybe it's a pattern or behavior that's not serving you anymore. Maybe it's something from your past that you need to forgive and let go of. Maybe there's something in your life that you're feeling a lot of resistance about, you're not enjoying anymore, and you need to kind of shift things around, shift up that energy. And you're at a beginning stage of, and you did choose pile number 1, and 1 is about new beginnings, new starts. And you're at this point of really building up that inner goddess that we're focusing on today. Building up that inner confidence. Getting rid of these snakes in the grass, so to speak, so that you can show up as your happiest, healthiest, most authentic and confident self. And when it comes to dealing with this over here, with the boar, I'm getting to go at it head on. This is something that the hardest part of tackling this is going to be mentally. So there's just a mental switch that needs to happen for you to be able to move past this. So it's time to tackle that head on. And once you move past that mental obstacle of it, maybe removing an emotion that's tied to whatever this thing is, it's going to come together easily. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by dealing with whatever this thing is, if you know what that is, which I think most of you do, know that it's not going to be as difficult as you think. And a quality of the divine feminine, goddess energy, is trusting that things will be easy and allowing things to be easy, removing the unnecessary difficulty from things. So that's important to remember too. And now I'm going to grab a couple more cards from my Divine Feminine Wisdom Oracle deck. Woo, okay. I think those are my 2 cards. Oh, I got 3 actually. So we have joy, pure happiness. We have love, life's purpose. And we have balance, spiritual and physical steadiness. So I'm getting the message again about being open to guidance here. Sorry about that. I had to deal with a space issue on my phone. My poor little candle's almost out. So I have to just reground myself here. So I'm getting the message again of being open to guidance and opening yourself and releasing expectations around how this guidance is going to come through and who it's going to come through from. So already you being here and listening to this message is you practicing that. For some people, this may be a very new and unconventional way of receiving guidance. It involves a certain level of trust and acceptance of something beyond our normal everyday experience, beyond our normal understanding of things and what's possible. So already you're working on that, which is amazing. Keep being open to messages appearing to you. Look out for signs and symbols. Those may be personal to you. The more you practice grounding and being present, the more likely you will be to notice those things. So for example, for me, a big sign that I get is numbers. So I look at the clock at 11 past almost every hour. I'm not trying to by any means, and it's super random. I don't even know why I'm looking at my phone and I happen to see it. Lately, I've been seeing the number 55 a lot, so I'll look at 55 past on the clock, or I'll even see it in random places like on receipts. So you may have numbers, and those numbers can be associated with different things, which you can Google if you start to notice a certain number coming up a lot. Or you may just intuitively have a sense of what that number means to you, or it may be a specific number that represents a loved one or an important event in your life. So just be open to that. And numbers is just one example. Some people see feathers. I've been having those a lot lately as well, or dimes on the ground, or certain animals or insects, that kind of thing. And those are often messages from loved ones, but they can also be from spirit guides or even from deities such as Aphrodite. So just be open to that. Yeah, using your intuition is going to be a big part of blossoming into this new version of yourself that you're becoming, and working on that connection with your intuition, learning to trust your intuition is going to be a big part of that. So that's an aspect. Also, it's funny actually how these cards kind of fell out here. So this one, I get a sense that these two cards are very much connected with learning to love your true authentic self, what's kind of beneath the surface that we're not always showing to the world, but that our soul wants us to show to the world. And embracing your inner goddess is about embracing yourself as you are and developing that confidence in who that person is. And this card also says spiritual and physical steadiness. And with that, I get a sense of, with any messages that you will be receiving, any guidance, to balance that with what's in the physical world. So it's important to have a balance of, we can't live up in our crown chakras all the time. We do have to ground ourselves as well and make sure that we're tending to our human needs, our human relationships, responsibilities, and all of that, but tapping into our intuition as much as needed to help get us to where we want to be going. And now I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I really want this card in the middle. Oh, weird. That actually... somehow the card from this deck got into the other one, so that's really interesting. So that guy, being open to guidance thing is coming through really, really strong. So it says guidance, help from the higher being. I just pulled this card the other day actually for myself as a confirmation of working with goddess energy and who I'm working with, being Aphrodite for this reading. So that's really cool. I think that may be a sign that she really is helping us out here. I honestly don't know how that card got in there, but I'm just going to tune in for a second to see if there's anything I'm missing around guidance. So something I think I need to mention that I haven't yet. There may be an opportunity for you to offer guidance for others. And I think that may be a part of this embracing of your inner goddess, this version of you that you are on this new path to becoming. So again, similar to what I said before, I feel like most of you, or at least some of you, are going to know what I'm talking about when I say offering guidance to others. Whether you're doing that already on a small scale or even bigger than a small scale. But this may be something to consider putting more of your energy towards. I see this being valuable for others and rewarding for yourself. So think about what that might look like. Whatever it is that there's an opportunity for you to provide guidance on, I get the sense that it's very specific. It's a very specific niche or area of focus. And if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, I do feel that in the next, I'm seeing the number 6, so I'm going to say the next 6 weeks, 6 months, I think you're going to get a sense of what that is. Maybe you'll see some of those signs popping up in relation to this, and you'll just intuitively get a sense and a pull towards that thing and confirmation. Yes, that's what I'm supposed to be going towards right now. So keep your eyes open for that. And you know what? I don't think I need to pull from that deck. I don't think that deck wanted to be used in your reading, but I am going to pull one of my Blooming Spirit cards for you, and then we'll look at your affirmation card at the end. Oh, we got two again, but I think I just want this one actually. Okay, we have the Tulip card, and the meanings for these cards I channeled myself, so I'm just going to read this from my guidebook here. So keywords for Tulip are desire, heart chakra, physical affection, self-love, and alignment. And I'm right away thinking of this Love Life's Purpose card. What is it your heart desires most? What needs of yours are not currently being met? What emotions are not being expressed? And that makes me think of this card back here too, about digging deeper. Perhaps you are in need of a good long hug or other form of physical affection to heal and strengthen your heart chakra. Perhaps there is a need for communion with your heart to get in touch and discover its longings. When we operate from our heart space, listening intently to its needs and guidance, there's that guidance word again, giving up to others and giving back to ourselves, we lead lives that are in much greater alignment with the longings of our souls and with a stronger connection to both our higher selves and the collective. I think that card was so perfect for you. And now I'm going to look at your affirmation card. Oh my gosh, I can't pick it up. So these are also cards that I designed. It has my old business name on here, Well and Free. All of my OGs, you'll be familiar with that name. It's a name that I have retired. I'm just going by my own name now, Erin Rachel Wilson. And so the card that you got is Gratitude. Materialistic and superficial things do not serve me. My life experiences and relationships bring me true, pure joy. So if you've had a focus lately on either, I'm going to say feeling like happiness should come from having materialistic things, so just having an abundance of things in your life, I see you shifting out of that and shifting to being of service and having fulfilling relationships being what truly brings you joy. And whenever we're trying to bring anything new in, call in anything new, it's important to incorporate gratitude into that. Basically, when you are practicing gratitude, ideal on a daily basis, even if it's just for a few minutes, when you wake up or when you go to sleep, just take a few minutes to reflect on what you're really grateful for. That shifts your energy to be in alignment with all the more good things that you're trying to bring in. So I think that's all for group number 1, and I'm going to leave you with this. I just saw 1111 on my phone as well, which is 1111. And if this resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If there's anyone you think would benefit from this reading, I would appreciate if you sent it along. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Unfortunately, my tiny little red candle burnt out, so that's okay. Doesn't affect the reading, but let's get into it. I'm going to move your crystal out of the way. We're going to look at this card later on. I'm just going to move it up here, and then I'm going to start pulling some cards for you. So what does pile 2 need to know when it comes to embracing their inner goddess? My cards are sticking together like crazy. The last pile, I pulled these, I turned these over all together, but I'm going to do one by one for this one. That's what I'm feeling drawn to do. So we have, keep going, don't give up. The path is open and clear ahead. I love all the pinks in this card. It's very feminine, which goes with the theme today, and I love that. Okay. So I feel like you've already been doing some work in the area of embracing your inner goddess. Whether you're aware of that or not, I'm not sure. I think some of you may be. But I get the sense that you've been doing important work here. And I think the meaning of this card is quite simple. Keep going, don't give up. The path is open and clear ahead. There's a little bit more to go on this journey for you, and of course the journey never does truly end, but I get the sense this is a very positive card and to keep doing what you have been doing. And now I'm going to flip the second card. Enemy in the dark, turn to your inner child for help. I've recently been learning about the mother wound. Actually, I just bought a book about it. I haven't got too far in it. It's called Transforming the Mother Wound by Monica Carles. And it's super interesting. Maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to read a little bit of the description on the back of the book here, as I feel called to do that. So it says this book is organized to help you in remembering the self, finding reconciliation with the mother archetype, processing grief and generational trauma, and learning rituals for rebirthing. So if that's something that intuitively you feel called to look into as well, I do recommend that. Immediately, that's what I thought of when I saw this card, especially when it comes to inner child. So everyone has a mother wound of some kind, is my understanding of it, because we have this idealized version of what being mothered looks like and how our childhood should have gone, and expectations that we had in terms of how we were cared for. And of course, as parents, everyone just works with what they've got, everyone does their best, and even like for myself, I had an amazing childhood and I did feel very, very loved. There's always something there. I don't want to say it like there's always something to work on, because we don't always have to be working on things. But there's always going to be something. And similar to group one, there was like this snake in the grass analogy of like what's running in the background, what pattern or belief system or way of being is running in the background. So similar to that idea, there's, in speaking to generational trauma, a lot of us have healing to do in our mother lines because we carry the trauma in our DNA from our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers. So I think there may be something there for you. So maybe just doing a little bit of journaling, guided meditation, reading on that subject might bring a bit of a breakthrough for you in that. I don't see it being very major, but I do see it like you're already on this path, you're already going in the right direction, but there's just one little thing that I think can help you just help accelerate that and help it feel a little more aligned. So I'm gonna move on to the third card now. Bask in silence, away with the noise of thoughts. Okay. Right away with this card, the message I'm getting is silencing the noise of expectations around what embracing your inner goddess means, what it should mean, what it should look like, and just sitting with yourself and asking yourself, what does that look like for me? As in, what does that look like for you? Embracing one's inner goddess is really unique to each person and what that looks like, what that feels like, what makes your inner goddess feel alive and well. That may be completely different from what that's like for someone else. So take an opportunity to sit with yourself. I do recommend journaling if that's something that you can get into, to just put down on paper what that looks like. Okay, now I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I want this one, and I want this one. Okay. We have the Hound and Pear, loyalty. And then we have the Trout and Lily of the Valley, purification. The message that I get with this first card, the Hound and Pear, loyalty, is, you know how dogs are just the most pure, joyful energy, and they're so loyal to their owners. They just would do anything to make their people happy, as much as they can comprehend how to do that. I get the sense that you need to start being that for yourself, and being loyal to yourself in terms of what is it that you need, putting yourself first, filling your cup first. And then with purification, I think this ties in with the Bask in Silence card, away with the noise of thoughts. So how can you purify your thoughts? That sounds like you're saying you have dirty thoughts or something. Not at all like that, but what thoughts are swirling around in your mind that really don't belong to you, that aren't serving you, things that you've adopted from other people, maybe even things that are ingrained in you from your upbringing, from your mother, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, that kind of thing. What's been ingrained in you and passed down in your DNA that is influencing how you perceive life, how you perceive yourself, and what embracing your inner goddess should look like. So maybe just taking a bit of an inventory in terms of, checking in with your beliefs and things like that, and doing an intuitive check of, does this feel aligned with me? Does this feel like mine? And then just releasing what does not. So give that a try. I think maybe something good will come from that as well. I think kind of working on those things together will bring you some really interesting results. And then from that, you'll be able to be more loyal to yourself and to who you truly are, because you'll have a better understanding of who your true self is, because you'll get that sort of masking out of the way. I don't think masking is the right word, but that kind of built-in foundation of who you are that's been passed down. Once we sort of sift through that, stripping away what doesn't belong to you, what you can get rid of, and don't feel guilty for doing that either. Your ancestors, your guides want you to be authentically 100% you. So don't feel any guilt for working on things that, maybe served past generations, but aren't serving you now. So if that makes sense. So I'm going to grab some cards. This is from my Feminine Wisdom Oracle deck. Not mine, as in I made it, but I purchased it and I absolutely love it. So pile 1 got this card as well. So we have joy, pure happiness. I love purple energy here. And then we have support, encouragement, and assistance. So, like I was just saying about your loved ones, both here and past, and your spirit guides, want you to find that pure joy and happiness, and they're supporting you every step of the way. So going back to what I was just saying about releasing any guilt around ensuring that you're leading your life being fully authentic to yourself, even if that involves releasing any patterns, beliefs, even traditions from the way things have been done in the past. So they're saying it's okay. You don't have to stick to what's not working for you. You may not even be aware that something's not working for you. So I think that's why it's important to, like I was saying, just kind of do a intuitive check-in on what does feel aligned and authentic. And yeah, they're here to help you every step of the way with this as well. So on pile 1, something that came up is being open to guidance and being open to how that guidance comes through. So that may be in the form of signs, symbols, seeing repeating numbers, animals, feathers, things like that, even hearing songs on the radio that are symbolic to you. So be open to that. And whenever you do have that happen, another one is hearing ringing in your ears. Whenever I have that happen, I just close my eyes and get present and grounded in my body and open myself to any messages that are going to come through. So I might see something in my third eye, or might have an idea pop into my head. So if anything like that happens to you, just take a moment to pause and be aware of what you were just thinking about, aware of what's happening around you, and what message may be trying to come through. Okay. That's funny. So we have Sun Wheel. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. What's so funny is that I was just thinking to myself, I feel like I'm so out of breath right now. And I think I'm downloading a lot of stuff, so that can happen sometimes. But I also was literally just saying to myself, I need to just start shuffling a little more mindfully and slowly and take a breath. And I think I may have been picking up on the energy around this message for you. Okay. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. You're in for an unexpected journey, but I don't see it being a bad one. Especially if you practice that loyalty to yourself and also to your intuition. The encouragement and support will come through in the form of intuitive nudges as well, intuitive knowings. And even if you don't have any reason to logically believe in those, sometimes you just have to trust and work on learning to decipher between what fear feels like in the body and what intuition feels like in the body. If you don't know, I co-host a podcast called Let's Get Into It with my friend Kelly Mayville. And on one of our recent episodes, we had on my friend Chelsea as our first guest, and she guided us through meditation to work on just that. So deciphering what yes and no feels like in the body, and also what fear might look or feel like in the body versus intuition. So I highly recommend checking that out. If this is something you're not sure of, if you are kind of in the beginning stages of developing a relationship with your intuition, that may be helpful for you. But I do see your intuition and developing that. And this came up for group 1 as well. Like, I do see that becoming more of a theme for you, becoming something that you do dive into more to help you embrace your inner goddess. I think those are going to come hand in hand for you and help you be loyal and authentic to yourself. And ultimately, that will mean being authentic to others as well. And now I'm going to pull one of my Blooming Spirit Oracle cards for you. And these ones I did create myself. There's a link for those below. I feel like my shuffling is just so messy today. If you're interested in getting a deck, you can check that out in the description. We have Pansy, number 2, and this is pile 2. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I think, already. And I'm actually just going to read from the guidebook because I did channel these meanings. Keywords are trust, spiritual development, mystical awareness, psychic abilities, and dreams. Pulling the Pansy card symbolizes a need to lean into and trust your intuition. There you go. If you have been having any doubts that you are being divinely guided and protected, this is your sign to release doubt and practice trust. When we nurture a relationship with our inner knowing and higher self, we will not be steered wrong. You know what? I had almost that exact phrase come into my mind, and I think I had another thought come in right after, so I didn't say it, but I got exactly that with this. Make sure to catch your breath. You're in for an unexpected journey. I see this journey being very positive. Even if you look at this card, it feels very positive. The sun brings a lot of warmth and brightness and joy. And with all this purple, and again with the pansy card, and back here, I get that you're already on this journey of developing your relationship with your intuition, and that's going to be such a key part of this journey for you and where you're going, and embracing that inner goddess, because that is all about intuition. It's the divine feminine energy of tapping into our intuition versus our logical, practical thinking. So that's going to be a key element for your joy in life, this joy that you're on your way to. Okay, and yes, as long as you are developing that relationship with your intuition, tapping into that, purifying what, distilling down to what is authentically you, and removing everything else, you will not be steered wrong. And of course, this needs to be balanced with some logical and practical thinking. But when we lean on this thinking too heavily, we ignore the signs and gentle guidance that is being provided to us and delay our moving forward. To strengthen your intuitive abilities, consider psychic and intuitive development mentorship or classes, or simply conduct your own research or adopt a regular meditation practice. Move toward what your spirit calls you to on the journey. Know that it is for good reason and trust the process. So, paying attention to dreams may also be important to you in terms of a way that messages may come through for you. So, a good practice is having a journal next to your bed. You can use your phone as well, but a journal feels a little bit more magical. Just so that you can write down anything that came up while it's still fresh in your mind. Consider giving that a try. I'm still out of breath. I feel like I still need to catch my breath. Whew. Okay. I feel like this pile is also for me. I feel like I'm feeling the most drawn to this pile out of all of them. And I think this message is for myself as well, in terms of there's no rush. So take a deep breath. I just heard the other day, I don't remember where I heard it. I think it was in a pick a card reading that I was watching, about how you're not going to become the most successful, happiest, etc. version of you overnight. You're not going to be completely aligned with your life's purpose overnight. It's going to take some time. And for someone like myself, who is very creative, I have a lot of creative ideas constantly popping up in my mind. It can be very overwhelming, and I just feel like I want to just crack through them, right away. But it's important to take a moment and pause and just focus in on what the priority is right now and take it one step at a time. So release any pressure that you are putting on yourself to keep pushing and pushing. Instead, allow, because that is the divine feminine energy of allowing, receiving, bringing that balance of logic and intuition, that balance of striving and then resting and reflecting. Okay, now I'm going to read your affirmation cards. So these are cards I designed as well. And we have decisiveness. I am an excellent decision maker. Making decisions and choices comes easily to me. Wow. So this totally has to do with if you've been a bit confused about the path you're on, about where you're heading. Maybe there's a lot of different things that are your energy's kind of going in a lot of different directions. You're feeling out of breath. You're feeling a little bit restless and excitable. You can rely on your intuition to guide you to what to focus on right now. Put the rest aside and trust in that decision that you've made. Okay. I think that's all that I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I would also love if you would like this video and subscribe. And if there's anyone you think would benefit from this reading, do send it along. I would so appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. going to move your spell jar over to the side, and we're going to look at this card at the end. I want to jump right into pulling a few cards for you. What pile 3 needs to hear right now to embrace their inner goddess. Okay, pile 1 got this card as well. Tackle adversity head on. A path with no bend is boring. Okay. Feeling gloomy. Be present for your present moments. Okay, you know what? I have never pulled that card. So it's always exciting to pull a card that I haven't pulled before. Then we have chill out. Don't swim against the current. Whoa, okay. I feel like if you chose this pile, you've been going through it a little bit. I feel like you might feel even annoyed by getting these cards. I'm getting a sense of that. Maybe for some of you, it's like, seriously, you're just going to call me out on what I already know. So if there's some sort of adversity you've been dealing with, some kind of challenge lately, I need to tell you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you can't see it yet, or maybe you see it, but it just feels like it's not getting any closer. You're going to get there, I promise. And I think worrying about the getting there is keeping you in this state of doom and gloom, and this, it's having you focus too much on what's in the future as opposed to right now. So how can you bring more joy into the present moment and relax a little bit, basically? So don't get too caught up in what's around the corner. Instead, focus on what's in the here and now, what is in your control right now that you can tackle, and also how can you release control. Embracing the inner goddess, an aspect of that is about releasing control and allowing things to unfold, but to do so with grace and compassion and self-love and trust in the process. So how can you bring a little bit more of that into the current situation? And don't swim against the current. So accepting what's happening, maybe not accepting is the right word, maybe for some of you it's the right word, but not resisting it. So you're going to burn out, and if you keep spending so much energy trying to swim against the current that's coming towards you, instead, just allow it to take you where it's going. Trust in that process, because you're on this journey. You're going to get to where you're heading. And in the meantime, how can we bring a little bit more joy to the present? Okay, so I'm going to pull some more cards just to get a little more clarity on this for you. The Badger and Ginkgo, healing wounds. And then we have the Dragonfly and Pansy, balance. Okay. I think maybe you've been going through a little bit of healing and transformation that's been feeling a bit challenging, and maybe been feeling a bit heavy, that's contributing to this way that you've been feeling lately. And I'm actually feeling called to just reference the guidebook, at least for this first card here, actually. Maybe a specific word or phrase in here that's relevant. Ginkgo is a sacred and ancient tree. Fossil records show the tree first arose in the Jurassic period millions of years ago. Native to Asia, the ginkgo is a symbol of peace and hope in China and can be seen in temples and gardens in Japan. The badger, in contrast, is known to be hot-headed and aggressive. Due to its speed and tendency to roam at night, the badger is often cast as a sinister shapeshifter in European and Asian folklore. Tempered by ginkgo, the badger invites us to reflect on harm we may have caused and seek to heal old wounds. And I did pull this in the reverse position, and it says, someone has hurt you. The person in question may not be aware of their wrong, but your pain is undeniable. Be gentle with yourself. Lick your wounds so they can heal properly. And a couple questions for reflection are, am I inflicting my own wounds on others? And what steps can I take toward healing? Interesting. So I'm hearing the phrase don't overthink it, which could be for me doing this reading, or it could be for you. I just want to share just in case that is helpful for you as well. So yeah, I feel like you've been feeling, well, hurt and down and a little bit in the dumps lately, and just with regards to some things that may have happened, some challenges that you've been facing. Maybe someone has hurt you, whether intentionally and knowingly or not. And it's time to, instead of, dwelling on where you're at and where you think you're heading, again, balancing that, of course, allow yourself to feel the emotions that are coming up, allow yourself to process whatever is coming up. But balance that with taking small steps towards bringing in more light, bringing in more joy. So what are some small steps you can do to start taking care of yourself, to start nourishing yourself, healing those wounds that you may have? And I'm going to pull a couple more cards that I think may help with that question. Okay, this one came up in another group as well. Love, life's purpose. So as I was just saying, how can you start to love yourself a little bit more? Maybe you're feeling a lack of love from someone else or from a situation, and sometimes we have to give that to ourselves. Discipline, consistent effort, and order. In regards to balance around allowing yourself to feel all the feels that are coming up, and then also taking action towards feeling better, to moving on, to restoring yourself and replenishing yourself. I think maybe you've been allowing yourself a little bit too much to wallow in those feels. So I think the goddess is giving you a little bit of tough love right now, in terms of it's time to embrace where you're at and to get up out of bed in the morning and put on a brave face and start to take better care of yourself and to focus on the things that bring you joy and focus on loving yourself a little bit more. Then we have hydration. There is more to the story than meets the eye. Be mindful of what hides beneath the surface. So I'm getting, first of all, a simple meaning with this card. It's time to start taking care of yourself in the most basic ways as well. Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? Is whatever has been going on around you, within you, consuming you so much that you're neglecting these things? So like I was saying, what are some tiny steps that you can start to take better care of yourself, and know that that will start to make you feel better much faster than just sitting in the hurt and suffering. And with there is more to the story than meets the eye, Be mindful of what hides beneath the surface. I don't know if this may be relevant for some of you in terms of whatever it is that's causing some of these feelings that are coming up for you, maybe dealing with another person or a situation, a circumstance. There may be more to it than you're aware of. It may be, you may need to just not take it personally. Most of the time, someone is inflicting pain and suffering on us, it's actually coming from pain and suffering that they have within themselves. So just something to keep in mind. It doesn't always have to do with us, though of course we can take that on as ours, as if it does have to do with us. Something to be mindful there, and also to trust that things happen for us, not to us. So if a relationship doesn't work out or something doesn't go our way, it can be difficult in the moment to work on this trust because it feels shitty, but to trust that it's happening for us and not to us. So moving past that victim mentality of this really sucks. I'm sure you probably feel more than just this really sucks with whatever's going on. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions that have been happening lately, but totally lost my train of thought. But hopefully what I just said made sense. And I'm going to now pull one of my Blooming Spirit Oracle cards. These are ones that I did design and channel myself. If you're interested in getting a copy, there is a link for that in the description. Okay, hydrangea. I'm not totally surprised we got this card. I'm sorry, I feel like we're being called out a little bit in this reading. It is definitely a little bit of a tough love reading for pile number 3. So I'm going to read from the guidebook for this one because I did channel these meanings. So keywords for hydrangea are lightheartedness, balance, authenticity, transparency, connection, and relationships. Spirit is calling you to remember that you are part of a collective. We are all one. Individually, we are unique petals of varying shades, and together we form a cohesive energy form. Perhaps you've had tunnel vision lately, focusing only on your own journey and forgetting how it interconnects with the paths of others. While it's important to water our own garden, it's helpful and kind to water the gardens of others from time to time, so that we may all move forward and upward in a positive, unified way. What small action can you take to water the garden of the collective? Be careful not to give too much of your energy away. Boundaries are still important, but know that kind little gestures help to keep karma clear and raise the collective vibration. So with the hydrangea card, I'm getting a sense, again, about watering your own garden, taking care of yourself, tending to even the smallest needs that you have that maybe you've been neglecting. Having tunnel vision, I did kind of mention that as well. It literally might feel like you're in a tunnel and you can't see the light at the end of it. And when we do water our own garden, we are watering the garden of the collective as well, because we feed off of each other's energies. So if we're showing up in our lives in this, gloomy, stressed out way all the time, of course, we have to allow those feelings to flow through us and to process those, but to be mindful of how much we're living and existing in those and how that may be affecting others. Yeah, focus on filling your cup. And once you do start to feel a little bit better, which I think you will once you start doing that, then consider how you can fill others' cups as well. And it just builds from there. We all help to lift each other up. And finally, I'm going to read your affirmation cards. These are cards I designed as well. And we have deserving. I am deserving of all the greatness in my life. So maybe how you've been feeling lately, how things have unfolded have left you feeling a little bit unworthy, a little bit down, and kind of questioning, why things haven't worked in your favor, if they will, that sort of thing. And know that you are deserving, you are worthy of a beautiful, amazing, joyful life. And it's just a matter of not resisting the flow of where you are right now, but allowing it to carry you through to the other side of this challenging time. So I hope that's helpful. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear in the comments. It would mean a lot to me if you liked this video and subscribed as well. And if there's anyone that you think would benefit from this reading, I would love if you passed it on to them too. So thanks for watching. Hello, pile 4. Last but not least, I am going to move your rose petals over. I like that it looked like a little heart. Maybe that's something that drew you to this pile. I'm going to move this card over and we're going to look at it at the end, and I'm going to jump right into pulling some cards for you. What does group 4 need to know when it comes to embracing their inner goddess? We have open your heart, friendship gives purpose to life. This did come up in pile 1 as well. Celebrate your uniqueness. You're as exceptional as anyone. Ooh, I love this card for the theme of this reading. It really looks like a goddess, doesn't it? And we have healing power of love. Feel the alchemy of love within you. I don't think I've ever pulled that card before. So with this first card, for pile 1, I got a sense of it being speaking to relationships with others, but for you, I'm actually getting a sense of being your own friend. So are there any ways that you haven't been your own friend lately? And what does it mean for you to be your own friend, your own best friend? What does that look like? Where have you perhaps not been doing that? I think we'll pull some cards that will speak a little bit more to that one. Celebrate your uniqueness. You're as exceptional as anyone. What makes you feel like a goddess and what makes you a goddess is completely unique to you. So a similar thing came up in one of the other piles. I can't remember which one it was, about thinking about what it means to you to embrace your inner goddess, what that looks like for you. So kind of clearing away any perceptions that you may have, any ideas of that belong to someone else, any conditioning you may have, and deciding for yourself what that looks like, and celebrating all the things that make you uniquely who you are and make you beautiful and make you feel passionate and joyful, and the gifts that you give to others. Healing power of love. Feel the alchemy of love within you. So just feeling that love for yourself, and this is almost like a vortex. It's like a vortex of fire, of like developing that fiery, passionate love for yourself. And this makes so much sense with the rose petals as well. I think you need to romance yourself a little bit right now and just treat yourself like a queen. Give yourself some pampering and give yourself compliments even. Write yourself a love letter. And, these things don't have to cost a lot of money. They can even be free depending on what it is. But if you do want to spend some money, you can go get your nails done, go get a massage, things like that. Just really treat yourself like you're this luxurious thing, because you are. Like, you have this one body, this one experience on Earth. I mean, my personal opinion is that we do have other incarnations, but you have this life only once. So how can you treat yourself with the most love and care and celebrate yourself? And I'm going to pull a couple more cards just to get more insights for you. Okay. The turtle and coriander, satisfaction. And we have the goat and willow, overcoming obstacles. So it's funny, Coriander makes me think of the smell of soap because people say that coriander smells and tastes like soap. I don't know if you're a hell yes to coriander group or not. I personally love it. Coriander also being cilantro, I'm pretty sure it's one and the same. With the soap thing, it makes me think again of pampering yourself. So yeah, just, I don't know, you need to build in more time to do that, more time for pampering. And also, I'm getting the analogy of tortoise and the hare, like slowing down and bringing more pleasure and that pampering and luxuriousness to your life. That's a part of being a goddess, is taking that time for yourself to do those things. And the goat and willow overcoming obstacles. I think this may be speaking to an obstacle around what is keeping you from doing these things, from feeling that self-love, from celebrating your uniqueness, and working through whatever is there, that there's a block around that right now. Maybe there's a feeling of not being deserving of that. Yeah. I'm getting that sense about, oh, but there's so much to do. There's, I have to take care of other people. I don't have the time to do that. Well, Aphrodite is saying to make time. There's 24 hours in a day, and there is a way to carve out that time for yourself, to take care of yourself. It's so important to make sure you fill your cup first before tending to everyone else. I know it can seem impossible to do that when, the day is full. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have all these responsibilities, but the rest of that's going to go so much smoother and feel so much easier if you take that time to take care of yourself first. So something that I like to do, especially when it's a bit colder, is when I get up in the morning, I like to light candles in my bathroom. I find sometimes I just want to treat myself to nice lighting when I get up in the morning and not like really bright lights. Just kind of ease into my day. So I'll light some candles. I'll even put on some nice gentle music, and then I'll massage some oil into my skin just slowly. So just really take your time with it and don't rush through it. It's only going to take, 10 minutes or so, this whole process. So you deserve to have that 10 minutes. You deserve to have more than 10 minutes to pamper yourself. And after I do that, I'll get in the shower, and any of the excess oil will kind of wash off, but then it keeps my skin nice and soft and moisturized and protects it from any, cold weather and things like that. And then I just do the rest of my thing in the shower, like wash my hair and all that. So what are some things like that you can incorporate even at the beginning of the day? It could be throughout the day as well, the end of the day, maybe a little bit of all of that, to just take care of yourself and focus on yourself. I'm going to pull a couple cards from my Feminine Wisdom Oracle deck that I think may speak a little bit more to that and any guidance around that as well. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is the third pile that's gotten this card. Love, life's purpose. Your life's purpose is to love yourself. I just got that line, which I didn't get for the other piles. Your life's purpose is to love yourself first. Because any larger elements of your life's purpose follows that. We have to love ourselves first in order for our life's purpose to unfold. So if you're barreling towards what you feel your purpose is in life, but you're not loving yourself, you're not taking care of yourself, it's actually that carrot's going to keep moving further away. So it's so important to remember to take care of ourselves in the process. It's important to be of service to others, but we can't be of service to others if we're not being of service to ourselves. And this has been a huge theme in this reading for everyone. And we have abundance, state of plenty. There's an abundance of time. You have an abundance of time, support, love, opportunities to build more of this into your life. How can you call on the support of others? to help you take better care of yourself, to help you build in more time for yourself. I think this came up in one of my other collective readings I did on YouTube as well. If you're always feeling that there's a lack of something, you're going to keep drawing to you more of a lack of something. So that whole what you focus on grows concept, if you're always telling yourself there's not enough time, I can't do that, I don't deserve that, etc., that's what you are telling the universe that you want more of. Of course, that's not what you're trying to do, but we are a mirror for the universe and vice versa. So if instead you start saying, there's plenty of time, I am deserving of this, I can afford that, I am surrounded by love, I am beautiful, whatever it may be, if you start to switch to just, your words are spells. So, and your words are the simplest spells, and we're casting those spells hundreds of times per day. So be really mindful about how you're speaking about yourself and your circumstances, because whatever you put out into the world, you're calling back more of towards you. We have citrus fruits. It is time to surrender to your unraveling. Allow the waking sight to expand and illuminate you. Very interesting. Okay, so we have a bathtub here with like a book and a candle, and again with that theme of like pampering yourself. So this is your homework for sure, is to, even today, whenever you're watching this, before you go to bed tonight, take 5, 10, 15 minutes, remembering you have an abundance of time to listen to what your heart wants right now to take care of yourself. So what is something you can do starting today, not starting tomorrow, to take care of yourself? It doesn't have to take a lot of time. And you will feel so much better if you do that. And doing that will bring so much more joy into your life. I'm going to actually reference the guidebook for this one, just to make sure I'm not missing anything with this card. I just feel called to do that. Oh, it's number 4, and this is pile 4. And this also makes me think of like juggling and finding a balance of things. So I think there may be a lot that you're juggling right now, but one of the things you're not juggling is your own self-care. So we need to find a way to get that into the mix of things. So key words for this card are spiritual opening, cleansing, and purity. It is time to surrender to your unraveling. Allow the waking sight to expand and illuminate you. The brightness, freshness, and powerful cleansing properties of citrus fruits have appeared as a sign of your spiritual awakening. This is a powerful portal that promises the deliverance of the illusions you have experienced up until this point. You are literally waking up and beginning to question everything about your relationships, purpose, and way of living. Old teachings, especially those to do with religion and spiritual beliefs, may begin to feel wrong or elicit doubts about whether or not you are actually receiving benefits from their guidance. You may find that things naturally come to a conclusion when receiving this card. Relationships drift away and you grow apart. A house no longer feels like a home, or you feel it's time to move on from a career or job. These are intentional decisions that feel right rather than anything destructive or devastating. You are simply beginning to align with your soul and make choices that reflect this evolution. Ultimately, you will begin to feel more light and free as a result of this process. Many people will begin to experience a deeper understanding of your soul's calling. If your day's been filled top to bottom with responsibilities and things that no longer feel aligned, what can be cleared out to make space for your soul's calling and taking care of yourself? Again, with your life's purpose evolving and building from taking care of yourself as a foundation. And I think some things need to be shaken up a bit. And how can you surrender to that process? and be open to what needs to fall away. Okay, to pull one of my Blooming Spirit Oracle cards. These are cards that I designed myself, and I channeled the meanings for them. If you are interested in getting a deck, you can check out the link in the video description. And we have Carnation. And I am going to read the meanings from my guidebook. Keywords are love, joy, beauty, gratitude, passion, and perspective. The meaning of Carnation Spirit is a simple one: to practice being in a mindset of gratitude for the pure love, joy, and beauty that abundantly surrounds you. If you can't see it right now, try looking a little closer. Notice the birds chirping outside, the flowers blooming in the park, a couple holding hands or embracing, children laughing in a schoolyard, or any of the little wonderful moments that you may stumble upon going about your day. In your own life, reflect on the supportive relationships, creature comforts, good health, and the skill sets that you have. There is always much to be grateful for, and taking a few moments each day to acknowledge this gratitude works wonders in lifting the spirits even higher. So I feel that one is pretty self-explanatory, and I will now look at your affirmation cards. So these are also cards that I designed myself, and you got thankfulness. All there is to do is be thankful for everything that I have and for being alive. So got a similar theme of gratitude with the Carnation card, and a similar theme with the abundance as well. So being thankful for everything that you have and embracing your life's purpose of loving yourself first. I think that's all I have for you for pile 4. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, I would love if you left a comment, and if you liked this video and subscribed as well. And if there's anyone you think would benefit from watching this video, I would love if you sent it their way. Thanks again.